Okay, so this is just a quick tutorial on how to create an orange in Adobe Illustrator. Once you have Illustrator open, you are going to come over to the left here and click New File. If you have this web preset, just click that, and we're going to call it Orange. If you don't have this web preset here, you just need to type these values in here. So it's 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. Once you have all that, you just click Create. The first thing you're going to want to do is come over to the right here and click this Layers panel, and we are going to rename this layer 1 by double clicking on it, and we're just going to call it Background. Once we have that renamed, we're going to come over to the left here. We're going to right click this little tool here, and we're going to select the rectangle tool. You can also just press M. We're then going to drag and create that shape by clicking the top left and dragging it to the bottom right. Now to turn this stroke off here, you just need to click this little black outline and then click None. And we are going to make the fill for this shape here a nice dark blue. You don't have to. You can create it whatever color you want as long as it contrasts against the orange. If you want to copy my colors, here's the values for you. So you just need to type those numbers in on your screen and it will create that shade of navy for you. The next step is to create another new layer. So we're just going to click the plus here. We're just going to call this layer 1. For layer 1, we're going to come back over to the rectangle tool. We're going to right click it and we're going to select the ellipse tool. You can also just use the letter L. And we're going to draw a nice big circle like this by holding Shift as we use this tool. Once we have that shape, we're going to come over to Fill and we're going to make it white. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to press Command C to copy the shape and Command V to paste the shape. And then we're just going to again hold Shift and just scale it down slightly. We're going to change the fill color to orange. We're going to use this light shade of orange here. Again, you can come up with your own shade, but if you would like to use mine, those are the values for you. We're going to move that into the center like that. If it's not working for some reason, just press V and it will change it to the selection tool for you. So that is what we are after for this first part of the tutorial. Once you have something like that, you want to select these two layers here. So you can click the orange circle, press Shift, click the white circle, and it will select both of those. We're just going to squash these a little bit and just rotate them a little bit up. So something like that. Again, doesn't need to be identical to mine, just something close. The next thing we're going to do is create a new layer. We're going to call it Behind, and we're going to put it between layer 1 and the background. So something like what I've done there. We're going to create a circle again. So we're just going to hold Shift and we're just going to make it somewhat similar to the size of the oval we have in the middle there. So something like that. Click over here or press V and we're going to make this a darker shade of orange. So I'm going to go with that shade there. Again, if you want to copy over those values, there they are. Once you have done this, you're going to want to press A or use this direct selection tool up here to delete this anchor point here. So you just click it to select it and then you press delete and it will delete it. Now what we are going to do is move this behind this shape, something like that. And then we're going to use this direct selection tool again to just move. My top anchor point's fine. If yours isn't, you just click it, double click it, and move it into place, like I'm doing with the bottom one here. So the end goal is something like what I have on the screen now, where you have this half moon shape behind, with the top lining up with the top of your oval shape like that. Cool. The next thing we're going to do is create the slices. So let's just create a new layer again. This is going to be on the top layer, and we are just going to call it slice or slices. We are then going to use this line segment tool to create the orange slices. So again, it doesn't need to be perfect. All we're doing here, change the fill from orange to white, and we are just drawing in by left clicking where we think that center point is on this oval shape. Once you have something you're happy with, click the little up arrow here to make the stroke thicker. We're going to go all the way to 8, and then we're going to change the stroke color from black to white. Once you've done that, you are going to do the same again for the cross section. So again, where you think the middle is, and then we're going to do the same again here and here. So now we can slowly start to see our shape forming. Let's just add a little drop shadow to the shape to make it pop. So to do that, we are just going to select this moon object here. We're going to come up to Effect. We're going to go down to Stylize, and we're just going to click Drop Shadow. All those settings look fine for me. If they don't look fine for you, just pop your hand up and I'll come over and I'll help. And then we're going to do the same to this white shape here. So click the white outside circle, come down to Stylize, and then click Drop Shadow. And that should create this effect like we have here. So you should see your orange shape just popping that little bit more thanks to that effect. Thing you could do, if you come back to your dock, you could click T or select the type tool, drag a little box, and just type your name into that box. Press Command A to select all. Increase the size. Change the color. Change the font. And you could put that somewhere in your design so I know that it's your work when it comes to exporting. So you just do those same settings again. File, export, export as. I'm going to replace it. Okay. Then you should have something like this for your final thing. Cool. That is a little introduction to Adobe Illustrator.